Hello YouTube, this is Retta. How are you today? Good morning. I'm going to do a reading on Mike Pompeo. I hope I'm saying that name right. And see, he's now getting a new appointment to the Secretary of State. I think that's what he is, Secretary of State now, from Rex Tillerson. What's interesting is, guess what? He has the same energy as Rex Tillerson, the Chariot and the Tower. And it can go, one or two ways, where he can be focused, determined, and rein in and laser focus and stubborn and go towards Trump's agenda, or he can go his own agenda. And the Tower can mean two things. It can mean, complete chaos and destruction, or it can mean, yes, in order to build something new, it has to be destroyed. So we'll see how the cards figure Mike Pompeo's energy. I just think it's very funny and strange that, you fire Rex Tillerson and then you're going to get the same energy. It could be good or bad. I just want to remind you guys to subscribe and give the videos a thumbs up and share and whatever and comment. Also, you can find me at Intuitive Retta on Facebook and Intuitive Retta on Instagram. Or you can email me at rettaware@gmail.com. So now that I got that over, I'm trying to make an effort because I forget usually on my videos to say any of that. So I'm really trying to make an effort to remember to do that. So I want to do, this is the energy of Mike Pompeo in regards to his new job. I tried to use, this is like the second time I'm attempting this reading. I tried to use a fairy deck, and the energy, the fairy deck in me just wasn't ready. Sometimes the fairy decks are very elemental, and they have a different type of perception, I feel. So I'm using, what is this? The the Gilded Tarot. So I'm using this deck. So this is Mike Pompeo. Mike Pompeo, what is he feeling right now? I don't know why. I thought I've done a reading on him before, but my people said, no, I haven't done a reading on him. And I wonder why I have such, he's not my favorite guy. I don't know why. So maybe these cards will give me a different impression of him than my first impression. My first impression is I don't really care for him, but hey, maybe the cards will change my mind. So his energy is, prudence, which is, I always talk about the Eight of Pentacles as working hard on the details. So, where he's feeling right now is he wants to work hard on some, and why he's working hard, he wants to focus on some details. Okay, where is he at right now? A new partnership, a new relationship. It doesn't necessarily have to be, I think he's married. So this is probably, cross to bear, is the transition. So what he is a new relationship, a new partnership. And the burden is to end one thing and kind of transition into another. So it's all about transitioning to another, and maybe he's going to have a closer relationship than he had before with Trump. Here it is. Underneath here is Trump. So this is Trump. So the relationship, so he's going to have to learn to transition his relationship. And you see in this death, it's a horse too. Kind of reminded me of the Chariot. So he's going to have to kind of transition and change and end, and maybe also end some relationships that he's had, in order to make this work with Trump. And behind, he's always been kind of self-assured. This is in the past, self-assured. He is ruled by his emotions too. If you recall, the Chariot is, you know, ruled by, they can be stubborn, hard-headed, you know, this and that. And he's always been kind of controlled by his emotions. You see the Saturn in the background. So this is like, even though it's a whole new thing, trying to get on the same page. Remember when I said with Rex Tillerson, they couldn't work together. The foundation, you know, to work together just wasn't there. He's thinking about the foundation of the working relationship, and he wants to make it a cohesive going forward, you know, in this relationship. That's where his mind is at. Also, there is a Queen of Swords. So he's also there's another strong woman, who is the Queen of Swords. Who this strong woman is an older woman. She's very intellectual, very smart, could be a lawyer. I don't know what she has to do with anything. In regards to a loss, you know, so a loss. So he's trying to, you know, what's on his mind is the foundation of the relationships of working together, you know, to build a foundation. Also, this Queen of Swords, you know, trying to, you know, I think he's worried about how she's taken the loss of like a position. I think he's going to have to work with a woman, a Queen of Swords. I don't know per se what that is talking about in the future. So, Law and Order. He comes from a Law and Order background. And going forth on like Law and Order rules, regulations, and creating some give and take. In relationships. So he's going to create opportunities of give and take. So in order to get something, you're going to have to give something, and vice versa. There's that Queen of Wands. Why does she always show up? I don't know if this one is... This is a very, very smart woman. Could be... But it seems like he's going to be kind of good at the job. He's going to focus on, he's not just going to give everything away. I want to see the relationship between him and Trump first. And then I'm going to see how he's going to do at the job real quick. So I want to see the relationship between Pompeo and Trump. How is that going to go? Mike Pompeo and Trump. Mike Pompeo and Trump. There was two women in prominent in a very passionate woman, the Queen of Wands, and then he's going to have to deal with her more in the future. I don't know who this Queen of Wands is. I've been trying to find her for months. He's going to have to deal with her more in the future. But right now, he's thinking of the Queen of Swords. And the Queen of Swords is like a very smart, intellectual woman. And she's going to be in the middle of things. So he's, you know, he has his, and trying to work with her. Since she was in the middle, he's trying to get a firm foundation of how to work with her. And the loss, like maybe someone that she was, you know, worked well with was fired or no longer there, stuff like that. So we'll see. Or didn't a woman take over his position? So maybe he's worried, and she, you know, that's always someone who's lawyer type of Law and Order, the Queen of Swords. So maybe he's worried about his position and giving it to this woman. I don't know. We'll see. So I want to see the energy behind him and Trump real quick. I didn't think of that. Yeah, I think he has some concerns about the lady who's taken his spot. as, I think, what is it, the director of CIA? CIA, is that what he is? Or the FBI? Or something like that. I think they said a woman's going to take his place. I think he's kind of worried about that. And hoping that it's a smooth transition and the foundation is not only there for her, but for him. And worrying about, you know, losing something in regards to this woman working there. Maybe productivity or everything that he's gained since he was in office there, since he was the head of it. Maybe he's worried about, you know, now that he's leaving, that there might be something lost in all the work he's done in that position. That could be it too. So this is the energy surrounding him and Trump and their relationship. Let's see, what is it? The Five of Swords. Ooh, they've had some conflict and some defeat. So there's been some conflict and there's been some defeat in regards to arguments. So I don't know whose side is what, but you know, their conflict, someone always wins in the conflict, whether it's a war of words or of actions. And I don't know who they're talking about is the defeat, but you know, there is conflict in regards to their relationship. What is the middle of their relationship? It's kind of, they're going into this relationship. Hopefully, let me put this down some more. They're going into this with kind of wishful thinking. I don't know if that's, you know, that they have hopeful thoughts, you know, wishful thinking. They're hoping that it goes well, that it's a good blend. It's a lot of wishful thinking. I don't know if that's kind of good. I don't know if that's good, you know. You should know when you put them in a position it might work. But, it's kind of like they're hoping. For him, here he is again. He's just hoping that he contains his because he can be, you know, calculate and stuff like that, but also, you know, he is a man of emotions, and he's just hoping that, you know, he can have a full grasp of his own emotions and so forth. How about Trump? Trump is this is the Death card upside down. So, you know, the Death card upside down, usually this way means like a transition and going forth, like an end of thoughts, because you also know that the death, I know some psychics or some intuitive readers said that they see a lot of energy of death energy around Trump. Well, his birth cards are the Emperor and Death, so you're always going to see death energy around him. It's not actually death. He's able to discard things. He's able to cut things off, discard things that are no longer useful, people, places, and things. That's why you're seeing a lot of people getting fired or leaving or this and that. And even on his show, when he was the apprentice, he had no problem firing people because he's able to get rid of things that no longer serve him. He's really good at that. But upside down is it could be just the end. I don't know if this relationship is going to go that well. Let's see. What does Pompeo want from Trump? He's like, he wants everything, you know? He wants everything for Trump. He wants everything, you know? What does Trump want from him? Trump just wants to be his boss. Trump is like, okay, just as, you know, I'm the boss. Just do my agenda. What I want to be accomplished, that's why I put you in. But I don't think he has high hopes of Pompeo really doing what he wants him. Even though it's a wish card, but right here is saying that he doesn't know if he can do it. Let's see. Where does the cards think this relationship is going? The Three. They're thinking, the cards thinking that this relationship on Pompeo is that Pompeo is able to work together. That he's going to be able to work together with Trump. So maybe he's going to change his mind. Right now, even though they're hoping, Trump has no problem if it doesn't work firing him. the sword is down. I always say my ace is like cut through my bull crap and get to the nitty gritty. You know, his sword is down, so he's not mentally sparring with him. He's not in a place or feeling in a place of defense or offense. You know, none of that. He's just, his sword is down. He's just like waiting and seeing. Waiting and seeing. Let me see 3 cards. Like what I just say, waiting and seeing. That's what Trump is feeling. Trump is like, okay, let's see how we work together. I put this in motion. Let's see how what unfolds, what happens. Something's gonna come fast. Oh, this is also Pompeo. Pompeo is, remember I said, you know, things come fast. It's going to come fast, and the tower energy is closer to Pompeo. So remember I said he can go, because he is the cherry in the tower, it could either go good or bad. It can be chaos. It could be total, like, destruction for chaos, or total destruction for rebuilding. So it's going to come fast. So Trump is just waiting and seeing, but, you know, stuff is going out fast for chaos and destruction. Emotions, the 9 of Pentacles in the workplace. So it's a shakeup. I don't think it's going to be a bad thing. I think the chaos and destruction is going to come fast, and it's not going to be people are going to have some feelings with it, but it's going to be productive, better, and more productive. So there's 2. You got the 9 of Pentacles is all about, you know, productivity and abundance in the work and in, you know, the physical area, work, money, you know, abundance. And there's the Empress is bringing forth abundance and new things. So in all actuality, so it's going to go good. I see some good, but it could also be egos involved to keep things, you know, things are going to go good. There's going to be a period of good, but also some of the egos are going to have to get in check, because egos might stop the movement of more productivity. Things are going to go good. There's going to be something drastically that happens. Something drastically that happens, and it's going to happen quickly, and it's going to be emotional, but, you know, things are going to come better. New things are going to come, abundance, you know, creativity, productive. And then there's going to be a period of like no movement, of having to look at things in another perspective and really watch the egos. The egos are at place, and it's the King of Wands. Yeah, so the King of Wands is the ego, the primitive. So they're really going to have to watch their behavior. They might have some conflict. Their egos might be involved. There might be some conflict, but it's going to be okay. It's going to lead to, you know, a firmer foundation. This relationship is going to be kind of like, I think it's going to be more productive relationship than when it was with Rex Tillerson. They are going to have some arguments. There is going to be something that comes up that's a tower moment, and it's going to come up fast. Something's going to hit hard and fast, and it's going to be emotional. But then from that, it's going to be, you know, good things are coming from this emotional situation that comes fast. You know, they need to check, both of their needs to check their ego, because if they don't check their ego, there's not going to be any movement, because they're going to be in the place of ego and there's not going to be no movement. So they both have to check their temper and kind of like they need to put their primitive down, you know, stop being cavemen and work together. That's what's going to make or break them, is this primitive male testosterone, you know. But if they can get that together, this is a very, you know, and I'm surprised because I didn't have anything good to think of Pompeo. It'll be on a good foundation. I'm going to do, so we'll see. Trump, even though there's wishful thinking, Trump is like, I think he's more of a wait and see. He's like more of, don't tell me I'm going to have to fire him before he even starts. Like that. I don't think he is, but I think that the thought is there. I'm going to drop a few cards to see how Pompeo's going to do. Excuse me, as the new Secretary of State. Even though I think that this will be a more fiery, a fiery relationship. I think that if they get it right, it can be very productive and good. I really do. But Pompeo has to watch out because that Queen of Wands is in the future for him. You know, so he needs to be careful of that Queen of Wands. Every time she comes into something to play, it's never good. And he, you know, he's really worried about, you know, the old job he's left behind. Let's see how he does with the, he's going to kind of feel trapped. He's going to kind of feel like, this is how he's going to do at the job. He's going to kind of feel like some of his movements are limited. Some of his hands are tied on certain situations. So he's going to feel some of his movements. But he has some hope. He has some hope. He has some hope that he can bring a balance back into place. And that he has hope that he can bring balance and kind of balance the scales. The Chariot, there he is, and he can go forth on the agenda. He is a Chariot, so he feels that he can control all aspects and go forward, you know, and go forward. But he has to keep his eye. If you look at this lady, she's kind of looking away. I don't know if you can see it. But he needs to not get distracted. You know, he needs to not get distracted by bullcrap and really focus. Because if he gets distracted, that's when the tower event is going to happen. That I've seen that's going to come real fast. He needs to be focused to avoid that tower stuff. You know, he needs to focus because right now he's a little distracted. And just that little bit of distraction can make these two horses go in a couple of different directions. So don't get too cocky. He's like, he has that energy going forth with passion. Going forth with passion, trying to build relationships. And trying to build relationship with Trump. And an indecision. And a heartbreak. So, trying to build a relationship with Trump. An indecision. The swords are down. The heartbreak. Things are hidden. The Lovers. Ooh. This is usually about, like, lovers. You know, he needs to be careful because he's married. This one is, and it also could be about his choices. So he needs to be wary of his choices. His choices, there's the Queen of Swords. He needs to be wary of his choices with this Queen of Swords. Hopefully he's not having sex with this Queen of Swords that we've seen that was on his mind. I hope it's his wife. I don't know what his wife does, but that can cause a problem. This relationship with this Queen of Swords can cause some no movement. His distraction. He needs to face some fears and go forward. The Tower event. I see this Tower event. Remember, he can be his own worst enemy, and this guy is naked. Don't let a woman, you know, this relationship with this woman, a sexual relationship maybe with this woman, bring you down. Because look at this guy is naked. You know, his Tower event. It looks like if he stays determined, that he can go forth. Also be careful of your drinking, Mike. But I think this is going to be, if he gets focused, he's a little distracted. Remember I said he needs to get focused. He's a little distracted. He needs to be careful. Don't have a sexual relationship with this woman. Is that his wife? No. This is a sexual relationship. It's not his wife. The page of, because I wanted to see if that was his wife. It's not. He needs to be careful of an affair. That will bring him down. He needs to be careful. Alright, that's for Mike Pompeo. I feel a little bit more better without him. He needs to also be careful about that Queen of Wands, because the Queen of Wands, she's always in the mix, stirring the pot. So he needs to be careful of that Queen of Wands. The woman that he was having a sexual affair with is on his mind, the Queen of, and he might have worked with her. Alright, he's worked with her. She's on his mind. It was, that could be what's gonna bring him down. He needs to get this. Mike, if you're watching this, cut the woman off. Get it cleaned up, because it's not going to be good. Alright, bye.